Hello, and welcome to another edition of the Get With It podcast. So today I have the fabulous Elizabeth Batalla.
Ooh, yes, that's correct, Elizabeth
Was that
Batalla.
nailed it? Anybody who listens knows like last names are not good with me. Like I don't know what it is. I just can't
Oh, you
do
did it
it.
perfectly this time.
Well, I appreciate it. And that first name I know pretty well too. So fabulous name, by the way. Fabulous.
Absolutely.
Do you go by Elizabeth?
Most people call me Liz, but I am happy to be called either Liz or Elizabeth.
Okay. Yeah, I have people who both, right? They'll
Yes.
say Elizabeth or Beth. No, not Beth, Elizabeth or Liz. So
Mm.
I don't do the Beth. So, but I'm kind of like you, but I'll pretty much answer to anything. So, so Elizabeth's in London,
Correct. Yes.
correct?
London.
And it's the evening time there, so she's
Yes.
already gotten through her day, which is beautiful. You're almost into the weekend.
Absolutely. And looking forward to it. It has been a long week.
It that I can understand. Oh my gosh, what is the matter with me? If you're in London, then you've been celebrating the Jubilee.
Correct, which is why this week feels like a long week because last week
Oh,
it was a 3-day week. We had
it's
celebrations from Thursday straight on until Sunday.
gotcha. Okay, all right,
Yes.
now it's all coming together because I'm like, there's you had the big Jubilee. So tell me what that, before we even get into the guts, I want to know about that. Did you go out to like the parades and all that kind of stuff?
We went to a few sort of street parties and celebrations, not in mainstream London. We watched that, my husband and I, we watched most of that on television, but we partook in the celebrations. We went to different organization events and etc. It was really fantastic. The buzz was absolutely amazing.
Oh my gosh. And people are out and about, no COVID to worry about, right?
Nope. No,
It's like,
not in
that
the
is awesome.
UK.
Not in the UK. That's awesome. So yeah, so I just couldn't imagine. My nephew was over. He left before the Jubilee, but he told me it was like the buzz is just crazy here because
Yes.
people are so excited about it. And so, and of course, I'm watching it on social media. Um, I'm infatuated with Kate Middleton and Harry. I'm just the whole dynamic, and then Prince William and all and their kids, and so. But I'm watching it on social media, so I'm sure it's like skewed a lot. So but that's so fun. That I saw some of her things that she was doing and I was like, oh my gosh, I couldn't even imagine. So, but she's got a fabulous name, so of course she's,
There we
you know,
go.
yes, there we go. So all right, so now to the nitty gritty, now that we got the fun stuff out of the way. Are in London, and I'm interested in this assessment thing. We'll get back to that. The 9 I was reading in your LinkedIn, but we always start off, we like to know kind of your background, where you kind of maybe got started, grew up, how you made your journey, that kind of thing.
Wow, big question.
Big
Prepared to answer
question.
that one. I am originally, so you would hear a bit of a twang in my accent. I am originally from the Caribbean, Trinidad to be exact.
Well,
Yes,
that's
and
fun.
I have been living and working in the UK for maybe over 15 years now, so quite a long time. But I started my career in the Caribbean. Throughout my career, though, regardless of country, I worked in predominantly male-dominated environments. So I started off in banking, finance. From there, I moved to oil and gas. From there, into IT. So, one of the STEM industries. And from there, I then entered into professional services. And throughout my career, I also lectured at different universities and colleges. So in a nutshell, that's predominantly what it is I did in the industries that I worked in. I worked from all levels, started off at junior level all the way up to directorship level. So
Wow.
quite a bit of experience there.
So in banking, you were in finance, but what did you do for oil and gas?
I worked in a department that dealt with corporate training. So I was the person who rolled out a lot of the corporate training programs, and that's where I started my journey with IT, because part of the programs that we rolled out included IT training, and I spearheaded that and did some of the training firsthand. So that's where my journey started with IT.
Gotcha. Okay. So you said a very interesting point, and we talk about this a lot.
Mm-hmm.
A male-dominated industry.
Yes. Yes.
So, in your experience, because you've got a lot of it, how did you, when you went into different positions, did you find that that I don't want to say male domination, but we always say, we tell women, hey, if there's no seat at the table, grab a chair and pull it up to the table. So did you find like
Mm-hmm.
support with your male colleagues as you grew in your different positions? Or was it that kind of, okay, Elizabeth, whatever, kind of, you know what I mean? Like that interaction, part of the water cooler fun talk, or was
Mm.
it, you know what I mean? Was it very
Yes.
like,
It was a combination of both, actually, Elizabeth, because there were some great sponsors, male sponsors, great people behind me, as well as you said, I had to pull a chair to the table. In fact, sometimes I had to bring my own chair because there wasn't a chair in the same room. So yeah, there were many challenges along the way. I Part of it was, the whole aspect of me being female, and part of it had to do with I needed to step up to the plate in terms of what I brought to the table as well. So it was not just organizations, it was not just men, it was me also having to grow into that space and grow as an individual and bring more to the table. But it has been a challenge throughout, simply because on many occasions, as a female, especially in those type of environments, I had to be twice as good, three times as good to get the same level of recognition, all things being equal in relation to certification, qualifications, experience. For a fact, I had to be better.
oh gosh.
Yes, and much
So,
better.
and much better.
Mhm.
What advice would you like? What would be if some like a young female, what would be your best advice in those situations? Because it sounds like you, in the industries that you
Mhm.
were in, that
Mhm.
definitely, you probably cross that bridge a lot often, in those
Mhm.
industries than perhaps most people. So what would you say
Yes.
is your best advice? Like, I'm like, I don't know, I'd get the chair like you, and I'd plop myself right down and be,
Yeah. Well,
maybe not
everyone
that's
has a
the best way to go about it.
Sure. The thing is, Elizabeth, everyone has a different personality. So for someone like you, for someone like me, bringing our own chair to the table may work. For someone else, it may not. I think one of the best pieces of advice really is to know you as a person, be very self-aware in terms of what your own boundaries are. And can those boundaries be pushed? Learn, as well as, if those boundaries can be pushed, and being self-aware, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. There are success leave clues. So apart from tapping into yourself, look at others and emulate others who have been there, who have done that. Right. So I always say that there are three things really. One, the individual, you as the individual. How self-aware are you in terms of what you bring to the table? The next point is look at the success clues and emulate those as best as you can. And finally, and most importantly, understand the rules of the game. And when
Oh,
I
that's a
say
good one.
the rules of the game, business, in the corporate life, the working life, with most things in life, it is to a certain degree a game because it has rules. And to be able to navigate those rules, to be able to know how far those rules can bend in your favor, to be able to use those rules to your advantage, you need to understand the rules. And the rules are there, whether spoken or unspoken, they are there.
Oh, that is very, very true.
Yeah.
Very
So
true.
don't turn a blind eye to it. Understand it exists, because when someone understands the rules, then they know how to navigate those rules and whether they should bend, break, or be flexible to it. So I would say those are the top 3 points. Be self-aware, look at other success clues, and understand the rules of the game. And that can help you leverage and continue on your path.
That is some really good advice. I'm going to have to write that down and take. Some days I don't want to play by the rules. So, all right. So what are you doing now?
Sorry, you dropped out. I didn't hear that question.
Oh, I'm sorry. What are you currently doing now? Like what's your path, your journey?
Well, now I've taken an interesting choice. In 2020, just before the pandemic, I decided to create the Institute for Achievement and Excellence. So I decided to become an entrepreneur.
I saw, and I was like, go
Yes,
girl.
absolutely. Because for me, Elizabeth, throughout my career, I have helped many people, predominantly women. And the more I spoke to women, is the more I realized that a lot of their fears, their concerns, their worries fell into specific buckets, as I would say, life buckets. And helping these women along the way, I saw how valuable the information I was imparting, how it changed their lives, and not only their lives, other lives that these women touched as well. And I thought, this is something that I want to do full time. I want to be able to reach more women and to reach more and to help more and to help empower them more and to give them the tools and the techniques and the tips that either came to me through experience, trial and error, which was not easy, or the ones that I've learned by through other successful people in my career.
Wow. Okay. So you start this in 2020, and then we have this
Yes.
pandemic that happened.
Mm-hmm.
So did that affect anything? Or
not in a big way, because it took me quite a while to actually develop the programs in the way that I wanted, and to get all the material together and to put everything into a package, and in terms of online, self-paced training, and just to get everything together in a cohesive way, in a way that is easy to digest, is easy to implement. That took time. And then, of
gotcha.
course, all of the elements behind to support all of that.
Right.
um, it took time. And as we were coming out of the pandemic, that's when I was ready to bring what I had created to the world. So actually, the timing for me was perfect. It was spot on.
It was fate.
Yes.
All right. So in your program, talk more about that. Is there classes? Is it like a whole like program that you go through every step, or class, or how, explain that to us?
Everything that I offer stems around or is based on something called the 3 forces in achieving excellence, which is a framework that I created. And the 3 forces in achieving excellence is a way to help anyone present themselves, the best of themselves, in any situation that they are in. In other words, to show up as a person of excellence. Now, that does not mean perfection. Perfection is elusive. It's not about perfection. perfection. It's about being the best you can with the resources you have in terms of your time, your energy, and your finances. Yeah.
That's
So
good.
the three forces incorporates identity is the first force, and that contains everything that is inherent to the individual. What can the individual do to better himself or herself? The next force is connections. That's the relationships part of it. Relationships with you, with your own self, and relationships with others. And then the final part is called status, and that has to do with your standard of living, your finances, your profession, the business that you are in, etc. Now, those three forces in achieving excellence, each force contains three life areas. And that's how we end up with the 9 life areas. Yeah.
Is that like, so that's the assessment thing, right? That I
Yes,
was reading.
exactly.
Okay. Okay. All
Yes.
right.
The assessment thing you're speaking about there, Elizabeth, the assessment thing is a free assessment that helps someone identify their areas of strengths and their areas where there could be improvement in each of the 9 life areas. That's what the assessment is for.
Okay. Okay. And
Mhm.
that's on your LinkedIn, you have a link right to
Yes.
that, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay.
Right. So when someone does the assessment and they realize, okay, maybe I have a few points in identity that would like improved, or status that I would like improved, they can either do those as individual modules, or they can purchase the one that deals with all 9 life modules and do it consistently, one after the other in a set way, or just jump to whichever area that they feel they need improvement most.
And this is all online? Like these are all pre-recorded?
Yes, everything is online, self-paced, and then the individual has the option to work with me should that person choose to do so.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay. So you can take the assessment,
Mm-hmm.
get your kind of evaluation,
Yes.
and then you can decide like, hey, I just want to focus on this,
Mm-hmm.
or look, I'm a hot mess, I'm going to do all 9.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay. And then it's self kind of motivating to go in and do the modules yourself, and then at the end do.
Absolutely. So each yes, so the modules, they contain, quizzes, challenges, all of these type of things, and every single module contains numerous tips and techniques, simple to implement, may not always be easy, because great things in life aren't always easy,
That is
um,
true.
but they are simple to implement, and many of them are life changing. They have changed my life, and they've changed the lives of many others.
Wow. Okay. That was a lot.
Hmm.
So do you get the assessments? Like, are you able to go in and get the assessments and then reach out to those people, or do you wait for them to connect with you?
The assessment is something personal and private to you. I don't see the results of that, because when someone decides to do the assessment, as I said, it's free. They go online and they do it. They download the assessment tool, and they do the assessment in the space, in the privacy of their own home, in their own time. And if they believe that they want to do any one of the programs, they just simply go to the website and choose the program that they want. And then if they decide they want to reach out to me, then they do so. It is hassle free, it is private. I don't push my services on anyone. This is something that is there for someone who wants to excel and achieve excellence in their lives.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Well, that's important because some people they maybe want to find out where their areas of improvement are
Mm.
privately. So,
Mhm.
how did you, going back, um, find the material, the research? I mean, this is like a huge. I mean, 9 9, I couldn't even imagine. That's
Yeah.
a lot of research and
So Elizabeth, it has been more than 30 years of
oh,
research. Yeah,
wow.
because I have been in the corporate space. I have been in the corporate space and helping others and mentoring others and coaching others and being coached and being mentored and doing a lot of reading and a lot of learning for more than 3 decades. And that's what I put into these programs, more than 3 decades.
Oh my
So
goodness.
the 9 life buckets, if I may just explain quickly. So in the identity area, there's personal brand, there is personal style, and there's demeanor. And that entails all of you as an individual. In the connections force, there is physical health, mental health, and emotional health. And then in the status force, there is your profession, there is your finance, and then how you deal with the future. So really, it's a boot camp to help someone level up. And I've been asked, well, why do I need to level up? I mean, companies should recognize me as an individual, as a female. They should recognize my worth. They should recognize my work. They should provide sponsorship for me. And I say to them, yes, to a certain extent, companies are responsible, duty of care for that to happen. But part of the responsibility of having access and securing a leadership role is how well as an individual you rise to the occasion.
Well, that's some good advice too.
Yep, it goes both ways. And that is what this program is about. It's almost a boot camp to say to, females out there, do this, whether with me or with someone else, but by leveling up, then there is no excuse that you are not good enough. You have proven that you have what it takes. Now the ball is in their court to make the decision.
Yeah, you're full of wisdom. Wow, that's another. Oh my goodness. So, all right. So what is it, 2 years now? Or have you just started because the pandemic ended? So we're kind of just getting out of things.
Mm-hmm.
I would say in the last couple of months. I'm not sure what over in London, how COVID has kind of gone in and out and all that good jazz. So when did you launch this program?
I launched it in 21. So I took a full year to collate everything together. And sort of 2021 is when I really started making the information available to all. So it's been about a year now.
Okay, how's it
Yeah.
going?
Fantastic. The feedback is the feedback has been incredible. It has been humbling, the feedback from people who have said, it really did change their lives. And not only their lives, as I said, Elizabeth, the lives that they touch. Because when you bring your best self, to any situation, everything bends in your favor in ways that you would not begin to imagine.
Oh boy.
Mm.
Wow. I'm gonna have to take my assessment. I'm gonna have to see where I'm struggling, probably a lot of places. So, so it's been a year, things are going
Mhm.
really great. What will be the next steps? Are you planning on doing like a second phase? Is there a second phase? What, you're gonna write a big book?
Oh, I've already written the book.
You already wrote the book.
Yes, I wrote the book, and it was launched in March of this year, I believe. Yeah, so fairly recently.
So
It's called
fairly
Level Up.
recent.
It's called Level Up to Move Up.
Level up to move up. I love
Hmm.
that. Okay.
Hmm.
So that's out on bookshelves.
That's on Amazon.
I'm
It's on
on
Amazon.
Amazon. Oh, you can
Yes.
do audio then.
Yes, both Kindle and paperback. Yes, I can do audio. Yes,
Yeah.
but that's a bit further off.
I think you would have a great reading voice for audio. That would be good.
Oh, thank you.
There you go. Okay, so it's on Amazon. Level up.
Mhm. Level Up to Move Up, the 3 forces in achieving excellence. Once
There
you
you
type
go.
that in, it will come straight up. It's a purple book.
It's a purple book. Oh, I like that.
Yes.
All right. Okay, so we already have the book written. What's next?
Next is just continue to grow the business and do, reach more women and continue to do the same with more people. Because I truly understand and have experienced firsthand the tremendous change it can bring to people's lives. And what I wanted to say to Elizabeth is that I don't want the audience to feel overwhelmed, because some people may hear 9 and think, oh no, you've got to be kidding. I can barely do 2. 9? No way. The thing is, again, it's not about perfection. It's not about achieving all 9 in 1 day or 2 days or 3 days. It's about looking at yourself over a period of time, whether that time be a week or a month, and have you at least given some attention to one of those 9 life areas over that period of time. So it's not about getting it perfect every single day. I don't get it perfect every single day. I won't expect anyone else to as well.
Perfection is not a thing.
It's elusive. It's not possible.
Yeah, it's not possible. So, well, okay. So our audience, working moms, all that, it's just kind of, it sounds like it's making self-awareness a little to the forefront.
Absolutely, absolutely. And anyone can pick and choose. You don't have to implement all of the tips and tools. Even if someone were to just implement a few of them, it can be life-changing depending on which area they feel the most needed for. Some people, uh, they believe that finance is maybe an issue. Then there are tips that you can use there. For some, it could be their sense of style. They want a bit of help there. There is information there in terms of what to do and how to apply the information. Everything is very, very simply laid out and easy to implement, or simple, I should say, to implement.
Gotcha. Okay. Wow. I mean, to that's awesome to be able to just become more self-aware. I think we don't do a very good job of that.
Mm.
Especially women. Women are always giving, 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 and maybe not looking at themselves on how to improve themselves, because we're always giving.
Absolutely. And one of the things I discuss in there is how to set proper boundaries and how not to drive yourself crazy doing so.
Oh, might have to
Yes.
read that chapter.
Yeah, because women, we do have a lot on our plate. I mean, life today is complicated. It's volatile. I get that for everyone, male, female, and anyone in between. But for women in particular, who most times carry the brunt of domestic, commitments, it can be a challenge. It can be very much a challenge. And as the female population age and we have to deal with hormonal changes like menopause and all of these things, all of which are in there as well, it can be a challenge. It can be a challenge.
Yes, definitely. So, okay, so when you're not being brilliant, what do you do outside of work life? Like I mean, you were at the Jubilee. That's pretty exciting. But hobbies or activities, like what do you do to improve yourself, right? Like take some time for yourself.
My downtime is just walking in nature. Where I live, there is a very beautiful walk from this town that I live into the main city, maybe about a 20 minutes walk, and it's all along the riverfront.
Oh, that's
So I
pretty.
can I can walk from one end to the other without having to leave the riverfront. And sometimes I just walk along there and I get some of my best ideas there, because I'm not the type of person who would sit quietly cross-legged and meditate. My meditation is walking, is just being in the moment while I'm walking and looking at the trees and enjoying the quiet. That is my meditation. So for me, I look forward to my evening walks. And outside of that, just spending the time I have with family, friends, catching up. spending time with the husband.
Did your husband do the assessment?
Oh, yes.
Oh,
Yes, he
yes.
did.
Did you experiment on him?
All the time. Bless him.
That's great. I like that. That's key. You gotta experiment on somebody, right? And he was probably a very good sport about it.
Absolutely. The husband and the mother, two people always in
Oh,
my corner.
yeah, the
Yeah,
mom.
mom is there.
Yep.
My mom was my first YouTube channel subscriber.
God love mom, right? She's always got your back.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So, well, now that we're out of this COVID, are you going to plan like any big trips? Do you ever come over to the United States?
I have not been to the United States since I was a child, to be honest. In terms of work, I haven't been there outside of childhood to travel and enjoy it. For work purposes, yes, I have been. Um, Traveling, I am still pretty much hesitant to travel, not because I fear the COVID or anything like that, but it's more to do with the disruption in the airports, because sometimes a flight is booked, it's cancelled, the waiting is 4, 5, 6 hours. It really can be quite disruptive. So I try to work virtually until I feel that give it a bit more time before I do any
Mhm.
more travel for work. And thankfully, I
Gotcha.
have the luxury to do so.
Now, is your husband, does he have the luxury of working from home too?
Yes, he's incorporated and he has the luxury of working from home. So it works well for us at the moment. We do miss the office, but for the moment, it works well enough.
And no fighting over office space.
No, not yet. No.
Not yet. Not yet. And you can meet in the kitchen for lunch.
There we go.
There you
There's always an
go.
upside. There's always an upside.
Always. And happy hour, you don't have to go too far, you got somebody there for happy hour immediately, right?
Well, I live more or less in the city center, so there are lovely pubs and bars and restaurants walking distance from where I live.
Oh,
I'm
wow.
spoiled for choice, Elizabeth. I'm spoiled for choice.
Oh my goodness. That sounds amazing to be
Mm.
right there. Oh, wow. Oh, oh, jealous. I'm jealous.
You must
So
visit. You must visit. We'll take
I'm
you.
gonna have to. I'm gonna have to fly over there and hang out. And you know what? Maybe we could hook it up with the Queen.
I'll see what I can do. No promises.
Queen. Maybe we could have some tea with the Queen, right? So, all right. Well, let's talk websites. So they can go to your LinkedIn, and we'll this is all in the show notes too, for anybody who is a regular listener knows we send all this out too. But they can go to your LinkedIn and they can click the free assessment.
Yes.
And fill it out, download it, fill it out, whatnot. And then how do you access the actual program?
The easiest way to get access to the assessment as well as the programs and understand what it's all about is going to the website, and it's achievementandexcellence.com, all one word.
Achievementandexcellence.com.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So website, easiest way to get all the information you need. But if somebody just wants to do the quick, they can go on your LinkedIn and click on the assessment.
Well, the assessment will sort of take them into the website. So if they go to the website, it's there immediately there. And then on the website has all my social links at the bottom of the page. So the easiest way to get in contact with me and to see all the social links and access the free assessment and all of the training, it's on the website. That's the easiest way.
Easiest way. So achievementandexcellence.com.
Achievementandexcellence.com. Yes.
Okay. And just to be clear, and is typed out. It's not the little symbol. Okay.
No, it's and.
Okay.
All one word.
All one word. Okay, just making sure. Want to be clear on that. So, well, I'm gonna go do an assessment. Now I'm gonna have people reaching out like, did you do an assessment? Because I did the assessment. What did you get? And I'll be like, hot mess from 1 to 9. That's what I got.
Elizabeth, it takes 15 minutes, and there is no scoring really, because the end result is a spider diagram that just simply shows you your peaks and troughs. It's as simple as that. There is no right or wrong answer. There is no good, bad, in between. It's just simply helping someone to understand their areas of strengths and their areas where potentially, if they choose to focus on, it can improve.
So it's a diagram, and it shows you where your high points are and where your low points are.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So no score.
No, it's on a scale of 1 to 5, but there is no ultimate score. So you don't get 15 out of 20 or 25 out of 30. It's not a scoring system, because it's not meant to be a scoring system.
Not meant to be. It's meant to see where you can improve.
Yes, absolutely. It's meant to help you move forward, help you to level up as an individual.
Exactly. Okay, gotcha. Okay. I was like thinking it was going to be a test, and
no.
Okay. No. There's a lot of people probably relieved right now listening to that. Like, oh, woof.
Oh, it's easy. It's less than 15 minutes. Less than 15 minutes. Just a few questions to answer. That's it.
Just a few questions. All right. Okay. Well, Elizabeth, I'm gonna let you go enjoy your evening walk, because I know it's evening there. And wait, does your husband go with you, or do you go by yourself?
Where to?
On your walks. Do you allow
on my walks? We normally go together. It's a nice time, because we're both working long hours sometimes, and it's nice to take that break and just have a walk. Even if sometimes we don't exchange words, because we're just both in the moment and enjoying the atmosphere and the lovely walk. And either way, whether I go on my own or he's there with me, it's always pleasurable.
That's so sweet. He seems like a nice guy.
He's a cool guy. Yeah. I think so.
You think so? You'll keep him around.
yeah. I'll keep him around a bit longer. Yeah.
Oh, that's so fun. All right. Well, lady, I totally appreciate your time, and enjoy your evening. And before we go, is the Jubilee stuff like all over with? Are all the parties over with?
The parties more or less are over, but there are still decorations all around, so it's still reminiscent of a fantastic weekend. Yeah.
So was it just the weekend? I thought it was like a whole week thing.
Well, the weekend was the main aspect of the celebrations, because that's when people were off work and everything like that. But yes, there were celebrations prior to that week as well.
Gotcha.
It was full on. It was long. It was well deserved. 70 years reigning. Yeah.
She's fabulous.
Yeah.
Good for her. So it's all in the name.
I have to agree, Elizabeth.
Yes, I always say, oh, it's got to be in the name. It's got to be in the name, right? So, well, enjoy your evening, and tell your husband we said thank you for allowing you your time from your evening to talk with us. And I'm gonna take the assessment and then plan my trip to London. So be watching for my ping to be like, hey girl, I'm here.
Oh, you're most welcome. Where we are, there's some beautiful little cobbled streets with little stores and shops, and it's very, very cute. So and very quaint. Yeah.
Oh,
it's very charming. It's very charming.
You said you lived outside the city?
Yeah, just outside of London. So it's a place called Twickenham, which is close to Richmond. Richmond is in London, and Twickenham is just outside of Richmond. So yes.
All right. So quaint one. I'll have to look it up. So
yes, Twickenham is known for its rugby. A lot of international rugby games take place in Twickenham. It's a massive stadium in Twickenham as well.
Really?
Yes.
Side note, have you ever watched a rugby game?
Yes.
It's really intense.
Oh, you should be when you go to the game live in the stadium, the vibe again, it's just absolutely incredible.
I do not know how those men walk out of that alive or without broken bones.
You and me both.
I am shocked. We here where I live, our high school has a club rugby team, and I've gone to a few of their games, and I think to myself, "Oh, you got to be kidding me!" Like,
It can be brutal, yes.
yeah, it's very, very intense, and I
But the
don't
atmosphere is
understand.
lovely.
Oh, it's so much fun. Oh,
Mhm.
so much fun. I know nothing about rugby, like the rules or the scoring or anything. I just know that it really looks like it hurts. That's
I'm sure it does. I'm
I'm
sure it
sure
does.
it does. Yes. So, yes. All right. Well, then I'll have to plan on for a rugby game then too while I come in to London. So my nephew, like I said, was there, and he told my mom, his grandmother, um, "Grandma, you got to come here." And she was like, "I already talked to your auntie and told her I wanted to go, so she had to go get a passport so she could take me." I was like, "Oh, I guess that's me. That would be me." Because I only have an older brother, so it's just me and him. So I was like, okay, well, I guess that's me.
So there you go.
So there I go. It's my calling. So, all right. Well, have a fabulous evening, and thank you again so much for your time. And I will, if anybody has any questions, they can reach out to you.
Absolutely. Please
Okay.
do. I will be more
Okay.
than happy to help.
All right. Perfect. We might have some people that fill it out and might have some questions. So that is awesome. So thank you again, Elizabeth. You're fabulous. And I love this achievement and excellence. I'm going to do it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me on your show. It's been an absolute blast. Thank you,
All
Elizabeth.
right. Thank you. I will, I'll connect with you when I get over there to London.
No, absolutely. Looking forward to it.